Today will be a box opening and initial look of this lens here. This is the 28-75 F2.8 Di3 VXD G2 lens by Tamron. One of the standard lenses, and Tamron just refreshed it really recently, and this is going to go on sale soon. So let's take a look at what's inside here, and of course, do a little bit of test shot within the studio to see the image quality of this lens. I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions, and today will be a box opening and initial look of this lens here. Before I start, I'd like to thank Class Distribution in Singapore for loaning me this copy of the lens. So if you want to get it in Singapore, you can still pre-order it. Other than that, let's take a look at what's inside this box itself. Just a note, this lens is going to get returned next week, so if you have any questions, do put down in the comments below. Okay, Tamron, after seeing a few lenses and their box opening, is very simple. They don't have any case or anything. It's just really papers, and that's about it. Now this is the lens as usual. And as you can see, when I open the box, there is no case, nothing. This is just the lens. And that's about it. Lens, hood, and the cap itself. Now, the first impression of this lens is that it is really small. I mean, take a look at this lens size. It is really tiny. And let's take a look at the weight of the lens. This is my cool little weighing machine that uses winding power. 572 grams with the 2 cap. So if you remove the 2 cap, it is close to the specs of 550 grams, probably the exact spec itself. So it is a really small and light lens. And I have to say the truth, one of the lightest 28-75 or 24-70 equivalents there is in the market today. I mean, really. So this is the version 2, and really, if you ask me what's the difference between the version 1 and version 2, I'm not too sure because I didn't use the version 1 itself. They did say that firstly, there is the VXD motor, which is the linear motor within this lens, so it's supposed to autofocus quicker. Secondly, it's now programmable, so you have this socket here. No, one thing I note that in the last review of the 35-150, there was no rubber, I would say it's no rubber cover, and today there's actually a rubber cover here. So I did not know whether the rubber cover will make a difference to the ceiling or not. Not too sure on that. And this lens is also supposed to focus 1 cm closer than the previous lens, 18 cm rather than the 19 cm of the previous lens. So other than that, they say that there is some change in the optical formula, a little bit improvement here and there. I'm not too sure, so I will take some photos in the studio later to let you guys look at the raw and see how it works out. By the way, my camera I'll be testing is with the A1 here. This is the Sony E-mount edition, and let's take a look at how it performs later optically, in the later part of this test. First, let's take a look around this lens. So the lens, weather sealed. It is an extended lens, 67mm filter cap, quite smooth. Focusing is also quite smooth. Focusing ring like this kind of lens normally don't make much difference because they are all focused by wire, so they are normally just really smooth. There is one button here, so I believe this button is to hold the focus. There is no other switches. There is also no switch to lock the zooming, so that's about it. So the lens is exactly like this. $540 grams. Now, one thing about this lens is that the lens is really small. So on the A1, it is actually very nice to hold. I just noticed it is very balanced. The A1's weight is actually enough to actually counterbalance all the weight in the lens. The only thing I don't like about the lens so far in terms of physical is the hood has no button to unlock. So it's one of those friction hood again, and if you have seen enough of my reviews, you will know why I don't like friction hood, because they can slide out and the hood is so shallow. So if it accidentally just slide out a bit like this, you don't know, you can't notice it, but when you actually go and process your photos later, your wide angle shots will have vignetting, which is quite irritating. And that's it, I kind of put it on the camera now, so let's take a look at the camera. Let's do a quick autofocus test around the room. I'm going to focus on my camera and then followed by, something close and then something far. I mean, I can't show you the screen, but let's take a look. Okay, let me set all the settings properly. F2.8, check out the ISO 1006. It's very fast, expected of a linear motor. I mean, I can almost instantly see it jump from one point to the other point. Yeah, this is actually the closest it goes for focusing. Let me see. So I take a shot of the close focus so that you guys can take a look. Okay, first thing is I see some chromatic aberration when you actually focus really close at f2.8. So that's something to note. Now the sample shots I'm going to give you is probably shot at ISO 1006, f2.8, 100 of a shutter. So they may not represent the actual, I would say as sharpness of this lens itself, but at least you guys can see roughly how it looks like. It looks really sharp in my viewfinder though. And just to note, A1's viewfinder is one of the most high resolution viewfinder in the world. And if it loses a little bit of sharpness, you can actually see on the viewfinder. And even at the corners, it's actually pretty good. The 75mm at the corners. Not exactly the sharpest at the corner, but I say as it's probably still usable. You probably can look at the RAW to actually, gauge it yourself. Just to note that I will label the RAW files as center focus, corner focus, and then whatever mm it is so that you guys can have an easier time to look at the optical quality of this lens. So I shot at 75, now I shot at 428. And really, the corner sharpness is pretty good if you ask me. It's pretty good. I'm quite surprised. So what you see just now was, I was doing a close-up shot using the wide part of the lens, because sometimes some lenses are actually closer in the wide rather than the zoom. So at the wide level, you can actually see it goes quite close. In fact, I'll upload both of them into the folder later and you can take a look. So overall, if you ask me, the Tamron lens looks to be really competent of the lens. At least through my viewfinder, I find that they are sharp in the center. If you focus at the corner, it's sharp in the corner. And there is some chromatic aberration when you look at the silver words later when you are doing close-ups at 75mm. And let me see, just now, even at the 20mm, there is a little bit of chromatic aberration, so you can take a look at how it actually looks like. And then I don't have much to test. I mean, the autofocus looks pretty quick inside this studio here, and overall sharpness looks pretty good. A little bit of chromatic aberration. It is a very light and small lens, 540 grams based on my weighing scale here. And nice little hood, programmable port, weather sealed. I don't think you have much to complain about. That's about it really for today. I hope that you've seen something here. Now, the only thing I want to complain about Tamron, if ever, is that maybe they should give me at least a bag. But then again, I probably never used any bags before, so I don't know whether is that even a valid argument. Probably not, Yeah, but it always feels good that you get a bag out of the premium lens, which is this lens. Now that reminds me, this lens costs $1,428 today. You can actually pre-order from any of the local distributors like SLR Revolution. And you can actually get it at $1,428. I'm not sure about the exact street price. You probably can ask the shop whether is there any form of extra pricing. I'm not too sure. But in the US, this is $899 USD. The old version was $879 USD. And if you ask me for 20 USD difference, I highly recommend you to get the new version because the linear autofocusing motor most likely will make a difference. It has always proven that a linear autofocusing motor is faster. Then again, as I said, I didn't use the old lens before, so that is what I think based on the technology. But maybe it is the same, or maybe this is slightly faster. But then again, $20. I mean, $20, we should just get the latest version. Normally, it is better, right? And that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this short little box opening video of this 28 to 75 f2.8 Tamron lens DI3VXDG2. That's a long name. But if you ask me, so far, I'm quite pleased with it. And maybe I will get one. I mean, look at this size, man. Look at this size. Look at the size. Let me put on the table. Let you see a top-down shot of this. Look at this size. Totally perfect as a 28 to 75 f2.8. The total weight of this setup, less than 1.5 kg. This is unheard of years ago. Years ago, to get a pro camera with this kind of range would have weighed nearly 2. Now it's less than 1.5. Technology has improved. And that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.